Hello, welcome back to BCGN/A. Today I will be showing you how to do a process called electrolysis to create hydrogen and oxygen from water using electricity. The end product of the hydrogen and oxygen will be highly flammable, and if you put a spark to it, will react back into water. The amount of hydrogen you produce is very much dependent on the power source and the electrodes and many other things. But hopefully by the end of this video you should all know how to make hydrogen and oxygen.
Hello, today we'll be talking about how to make water combustible. Step 1 is to fill the bottle with water. Then take your bicarbonate of soda and put a few drops into the bowl. The more you put in, the faster the hydrogen and oxygen will be produced, but the faster your copper will and electrodes will disintegrate. So yeah, get a good bit of that in. Then you want to prepare your electrodes for using. So like for my copper using just some copper wire. I reckon that will be about enough. Just a sec. So just cut the copper wire off. Now this step might not be as easy as most people think, because most copper wire you buy will be enamelled. So you need to grab a piece of sandpaper and just sand down the copper till there's no enamel left. Once the copper is completely stripped of all the enamel, so if you look closely there, a slightly different colour. A lot of copper wire is enamelled with red stuff. Yeah. Next you need to get your graphite electrode. So for this you will need a pencil and a scalpel. This is really quite simple. You just take the scalpel, put it in the pencil, cut along it, and then you pull it. Oh, that didn't work. You've just got to cut down to the lead in the graphite in the pencil. The thicker the inside is, the better. So yeah, it doesn't usually take this long. And then once you've got down to the graphite, you put the scalpel in along the edge and cut off the side of it, the side of the pencil. You can just pull that off. Usually the graphite will just come out, and then you've got a perfect graphite electrode. for this step you will need your 2 electrodes you've made and some wires that you're going to put in the water. So firstly you want a wire that's preferably not copper that you can attach to your graphite electrode. I've already attached one, but I can attach 2 like that, but one of them usually falls out. Then once you've got your graphite one done, or carbon, it's the same thing, you need to take another wire, take the copper wire, actually preferably a fatter wire like this, take the copper wire, put one end on there and just wrap it around the wire. It's fine if this wire's copper. But this copper will fizzle away slowly in the water, so you need to watch out for that. If it does, your hydrogen and oxygen will stop being produced. So there we have a carbon electrode and a copper electrode. So the next step is getting all the wiring done. So you need a power source, like I'm using 2 batteries from an electric scooter that are 4 amps each and 15 volts, so that produces 20 volts all up. So you need your 2 connections and piece of wiring. You're probably not going to do this, but because I'm making 2, I need to wire it around like that. Then you take one of your electrodes and you wire that to either end of the connection. So then you will take another one, and you might need to strip the wires because a lot of wires aren't readily stripped, but I do this a lot, so I've got quite a lot of stripped wires. And then you wind the end round, otherwise it frays and it's really difficult to use. So you attach them both to a pin. You might also need, this wasn't mentioned in the things you'll need, but you might also need a peg. Now that I've used a peg to attach both of these so they won't come off, I've got to wire them up to the electrodes. So you don't want this connection to get in the water, otherwise your electrolysis, which is the process I'm using to create hydrogen and oxygen from the water. So you just wire that up, that needs to stay out of the water, then wire the copper up in the same way. So then they're ready for you to start. The next step is to fill your bottle with water. So you need to do a thorough job with this, so we'll just go down to a water source like a tap. Then you take the top off and you will just fill up the water. You want as little air in the bottle as possible because any air will contaminate the gases. So if we come back outside, I have my bottle and my oops, I got stuff in there, and my water. So now I need to take some bicarbonate such as soda. Put it into the bottle like so. You don't need much because the bottle's got a small volume, but the bigger the bottle, obviously, the more you'll need. So then you just shake that up so it's all nicely dissolved. Then I got a bit of air in, that's okay, because it's quite, the water will have enough oxygen into and hydrogen to counter that. Then you just take the bottle and underwater you unscrew the top. I'm not going to show you how to do that because most people should know how to unscrew a bottle top. You turn it clockwise. Then you just put a peg in there to stop it moving. You can use this peg to attach your electrodes to later. So then just put that on like that, and then you've got that attached. Now, next step is to take your power source. It should all be wired up. So you take the graphite electrode. Oh, that's a bit snapped, so I'll put a new one in. Take the graphite electrode, and then you put that inside the bottle, like that. Then you take the copper electrode and do the same. If you need proof that the electrolysis is working, if you look at the water, bubbles should be forming on the contacts and then rising up to the surface. This bottle will capture all the hydrogen and oxygen, and that should hold the that should give you enough to make a pretty good explosion. So I left my electrolysis for a few hours and I'm quite pleased with the result. I've got pretty much a full bottle, and that green stuff in the bottom, most of you will encounter that if you put too much bicarbonate of soda in. It's just the copper oxidizing. So there is a way you have to take this out of the water so none of the oxygen escapes. So when it's underwater, your top will be off. You need to take the leads out and then screw the top on underwater, otherwise your hydrogen and oxygen will be contaminated with air. So I hope this has taught you how to do electrolysis, and hope you subscribe to our channel.